This show is sponsored by PaidToPlayToday.com. Start living life to the fullest. Get a free basic membership at PaidToPlayToday.com.
Coming at you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, Paid to Play TV, episode 20. Now a man who is so modest he's Yahoo. Coming at you from the live concert in Salt Lake City, MATISYAHU, a man who is the yuppie hippie, Garrett J. White.
This is Garrett J. White, the authentic entrepreneur, coming at you real, raw, and relevant. Welcome to the first off-site paid-to-play television episode where we're coming at you with one very simple principle tonight. We currently are not inside the studio. We are where? Give them a pan around. Show them around. That is right, my friends. We are outside at the concert. It's called the Twilight in the Park concert in Salt Lake City, Utah. And tonight, we are here to experience soul purpose in action, a true heretic. You hear me talk about it all the time in the Conversation of Tribes by Seth Godin. You hear me talk about it every week on the show. You hear me in my daily download. You hear me talk about it 24/7. You've even heard me reference the name MATISYAHU. That's who we're here to see tonight, Mr. Jewish, Orthodox Jew nonetheless, Orthodox Jewish reggae singer, living his contract, is here tonight. The weed smell has already begun. Yes, they are smoking a little bit of it here tonight at the concert. It will only get worse as he actually comes on. Right now is the lead-off group. Give him a little shot of the people who are setting the stage for our main man tonight, Mr. MATISYAHU. Okay, so here's the deal. We are we are totally focused here at the concert. Coming through, bro? Not coming through. Here, are you pumped tonight?
What's that?
Are you pumped?
Oh, totally.
Here for a big reason.
Pumped, definitely.
Pumped. Here because why?
MATISYAHU's here, fool. Come on.
That's right. Okay, now listen. Here's the deal. We've been having a debate. See, being a heretic at times requires you to be a hippie. I want to show you what a hippie doesn't look like. Okay, now that you've seen what a modern hippie does not look like, that is what a Tommy Bahama model looks like. Right? Right?
Sure, okay. Whatever.
So we asked some questions of all of our fans here about what were the distinctions between two things: the modern heretic hippie and the ancient heretic hippie. Here were some of the top responses from our interviews today. Number one reason, distinction between the modern hippie and the ancient hippie is the modern hippie smells better.
Takes a shower at least once a week.
Tim was there to witness that answer. The second answer that we got was even better. Here was. It was that the modern hippie is more materialistic. Do you support this?
Yep, because they've got a Mac, they've got an iPad, they've got...
They are the modern hippie is part of the iChurch. It's the fastest growing religion on the planet. The iRevolution.
You better explain what that is.
Okay, iChurch isn't really a church. It's people converting to the conversation of Apple products, even though we're using a Kodak ZI-8 camera.
Yes.
Okay, so anyways, so the big game then we're talking about is Heretics. In a moment, we're going to do some video clips throughout the night tonight during the concert. We're going to get little snippets of the party, right? Let's go out to all the ladies. And maybe give a little bit, little pan around with all the ladies. Let me show you some of the ladies. Okay, so we're going to do little clips throughout. We're going to get a feel for what it's like to be in the presence of a heretic, a modern Jewish reggae singing hippie. Huh? Sole purpose at its best. Tune back in. The next few clips are going to be actually during the concert. Actually for one of our internet TV shows we do called Pay to Play TV. I've been asking everybody tonight one question. What is the great, I consider myself a modern day hippie, but we're asking what is the distinction between a modern hippie and an ancient hippie? Showers. This is becoming the harmonious answer. Showers. We're all going to ask you the same question. So we're asking, we've decided that there's a difference between the modern hippie and the ancient hippie, which really is like 20, 30, 40 years ago. What would you say is the biggest difference between a 2010 hippie and a hippie in the past?
Is there a difference?
Yeah. What is the difference?
They're just trying to emulate the same thing that somebody accomplished a long time ago.
We've got concurred yet again on the idea that bathing is the #1 distinction between the modern and ancient hippie. I may go to the ancient tradition. I don't know. Hey, bro, we're doing some video clips from my internet TV show, but we're asking some questions. I consider myself possibly a modern day hippie, but we're trying to get some feedback from the group about the difference between a modern hippie and an old school hippie. So what do you think the difference is between these two? What's your name, bro?
Jeff.
Jeff. Yeah. Okay, Jeff, what do you think? What's in your mind, what's the difference?
Well, I think now the modern hippie kind of has a model to follow. The hippies back in the 60s, those were the first ones. So I feel like they had a lot more, hippies nowadays don't have as much to voice their opinion about or fight about. That's a big difference. Now it's more of an image thing. Back then I think it was just more of a cultural choice.
Yet again I'm being told I'm a copying bastard. I have no stand or power. Okay, so that was a new one. I like that one. That's good. Okay, bro, what do you think? Modern hippies, old school hippies. What's the biggest difference?
Hygiene.
The hygiene.
The older hippies kept it real, masked the non-bathing days with patchouli oil, which I think if you wear patchouli oil, you should probably be shot. That is the nasty smelling stuff either. But anyways, it's not a lifestyle anymore. It's like a social class. It's a yuppie hippie.
Oh, I like you, dude. Did you hear that? Okay, yuppie hippie. That would be me.
Yuppie hippie.
That would be me. Thanks, guys. Make sure you give the person in front of you a lot of space. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with MATISYAHU. He's coming. I'm so nervous. Salt Lake City, how y'all feeling?
So as we bring a conclusion to the special edition of Paid to Play TV, we're now days, actually about a week out from the MATISYAHU concert in Salt Lake City, Utah at Pioneer Park. And here's a couple things we're going to debrief on to finish up this special edition episode. First off, my business partners know how to do two things. Number one, they know how to get in fights in the mosh pit. Number two, they know how to crowd surf. Unfortunately, we did not get video footage of Ryan Bradshaw, one of my business partners with Paid to Play, who got into a boxing match in the front row of the MATISYAHU concert, defending a 5-foot, 85-pound little girl who felt like she was suffocating to death, ended in a conflict, and moved him outside the arena. Principle here is learned that when you're going to take a stand, sometimes you're going to get punched in the face for it. At least that's what happened to Ryan. Neil, on the other hand, decided to experience an expression of brilliance in his life. You'll notice him.
Hi.
Here.
I'm in normal clothes now. So.
Normal clothes?
At the concert, I did cross colors, which was back in the day in style for like 6 months. So.
Yeah. And that was only in style for 6 months that, yeah, it was no good. But anyways, Neil was wearing them. Neil decided to crowd surf. And it put him outside of his comfort zone. It took him to a place of being moved literally across a mass of people to the front of the stage. What's the principle we can learn here? It's a principle I learned in a process that I went through called the Great Life Foundation, and it was that your vision in life itself is literally separated by what they call a sea of humanity, which is literally a sea of people, like water, oceans and waves, between where you are and what you're wanting. Neil wanted to get to the front. The front was packed. It was body to body to body, and so he got a genius idea. The idea was, use my sea of humanity.
I don't know if you would consider it genius.
It was as genius as it can get for, yeah. Anyway, so Neil crowd surfs to the front of the mosh pit, and that is where Ryan got in his fight. Me, on the other hand, I sat back about 50 to 75 feet from the stage outside of the mosh pit next to a bunch of high schoolers smoking weed. And I don't know if I deliberately stood by the high schoolers smoking weed or how that worked out. But here's what I can tell you. It was amazing to sit there with 25,000 people in this park and watch MATISYAHU get up there and perform. It was fun to watch him experience his brilliance. There were a couple of stages in between. In the middle of the show, when he pauses, you're going to see probably video clips of this, where he pauses, he pulls someone up out of the crowd. The security guards try to throw this guy back into the crowd. And he's like, no, I got it. He whispers into his ear and tells him to crowd surf and to run and jump in. Also, he sat back several times and he stood and he would just look at the group. And you could tell just energetically that it was like unbelievable that he was getting paid to do this. If you actually look up the history and the story of MATISYAHU, you'll see that this was not something that was always in his path, quote unquote, and that he went literally over the last few years from the subways in New York City peddling for pennies to being in front of stages of 25,000 people doing what he did here just this last week. Living a life of a heretic and leading a tribe, just like MATISYAHU does with his music, being an Orthodox Jew whose name was Matthew. Wasn't Matthew? Mm-hmm. Matthew went back to his roots, called him MATISYAHU. Woo! For me, I think I might go back to my roots too. And we've decided my name's going to be HERETIC. HERETIC. Yeah, I don't know if that'll work. Anyway, stand up as a heretic. If you're going to get paid to play, it requires you to lead from the front. Managers use the herding technique. Leaders operate as shepherds. They move to the front, and they move fast, and they move furious, even when for the years and years of time, they were the only ones who believed. Just like Matthew, a.k.a. MATISYAHU. Thanks so much for being here in this special edition of Paid to Play Television. Excited to have you here every single week. And if you have not checked out what in the world we're doing here in our roots at Paid to Play TV, check it out today at paidtoplaytoday.com. My name is Garrett J. White. I am the authentic entrepreneur, coming at you real, raw, and relevant, and reminding you, my friends, to be authentic.